So today I'm going to show you, well, this is going to take like a couple days, but I'm going to show you how to process wild bees nest, as you can see here, into beeswax that I'm going to use for different beauty products or candles, or I mean you can use it for a million things. We can talk about that later. So I'm going to do a step-by-step on how to process it. There's all kinds of stuff in there. So to clean it out as best I can before I start the process, just wanted to show you that this is part of a nest that's fallen from up here, and all the bees have migrated to this nest. So I'm trying to clean out this part of the hive, and I found honey. This is wild, natural honey. Look at that. Okay, so here I've got my outdoor stove and a pot. Get my gas going. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend doing this indoors in somebody's kitchen, especially if you have a wife. Yeah. Okay. Get that boiling. Okay, so when it starts getting hot enough and it looks like it's gonna boil, I turn down the temperature so the properties in the beeswax don't get compromised. This looks really nasty. I know. You're thinking, how is that nasty throw up water gonna be beautiful golden beeswax? But it will, I promise. Yeah, so you wanna make sure all the pieces are melted. See like the leaves floating to the top. So you just want to skim off the top without going too deep and get all the carcasses of the dead animals or whatever debris might have risen to the top. Clean it as best as you can. And I do it kind of fast so the wax doesn't dry. On my strainer, as you can see, it's already full of dried wax. See? Cover it up so nothing flies into it, especially bees, because they like the smell. Let's see what we got here. So that's settled nicely. I can't tell how thick it is, but yeah, it needs to rest still. That's a beautiful color. So I have a double boiler set up. I didn't have like a pro one, so I just kind of took two old pans or pots and put it together. So there's water in there. And the wax is going to go here, and I will melt it and then use this pantyhose, which I had to buy because I live in the tropics and you don't need pantyhose here, but it's the best thing to use, honestly. Women's pantyhose. And I am going to strain it and into here, into this old pot, only used for these types of projects. You're not going to want to cook with the same pot again. So once the beeswax has been filtered for this last time, these are going to be my holders. It's kind of oily too because I made a vegetable broth the other day, so that'll pop out easy when I want to use the beeswax. These are my 2 waxes. One of them was left over, so, and as you can see, I have scraped the bottoms. So all of this dirt is going to filter out through the pantyhose. This is the last step to get the beeswax. All right, so now we'll get started. So you have to be very careful that the water in the pot does not go into the wax. You want to keep it as pure as possible. You can notice that this color looks kind of like a maple syrup. It's not the golden color that we want, and that's why we're doing this last step, to get all those tiny particles of dirt that were left over from the first filter. Okay, looks like it's all been pretty much melted. So this is going to be kind of a fast process. All right, we're ready to rock. A little table here. You will get wax on this table, so make sure it's not an important one. Or cover it with a plastic wrap, like I usually do. I'm just going to turn this off. Okay, so again, it's going to be fast. And here we go. You're going to strain it, but do not squeeze it, because if you squeeze it, the little tiny particles of dirt and debris are going to squeeze through the pantyhose. So you just kind of got to do a quick movement. So I'm giving it a swish just to melt those tiny little bunched particles, which it does melt fairly easy. Oh, look at that beautiful golden color on the sides. Beeswax can be used in natural candles. You can also add essential oils and make it smell really special. But I myself like the natural smell of beeswax. You know this beeswax is all natural because you made it yourself. Now you can just pop them out. Oh, they came out pretty easy. And look at this beautiful, pure beeswax, right? With no imperfections. It looks like a caramel. I like to store them in a dark place like a closet so they don't melt together. Even having it out in the sun like this is not a good idea. The reason I dried this beeswax into cubes is because when I melt them to make a candle or use them in the products that I'm gonna make, this melts faster than a big block of beeswax. So that's why I chose to make them in small chunks like this. But you can set them any way you want. There's so many things that are made out of beeswax that you wouldn't know. You can make lip balm, beauty products, especially if you have sensitive skin. And for men, you can make mustache wax. So as you can see from this video, making beeswax is not a fast process. It takes a lot of steps, but it doesn't expire once you make it. So this is not time wasted, and you know what's in the beeswax. So, and you get a lot of joy out of making it yourself, and it's a lot of fun. So thanks for watching.